Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, yesterday, the congressional Democrats held a hearing, or at least met with someone that used to work with ICE. So, they interviewed, however, this came about, they interviewed a former instructor for the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And this is a man named Ryan Schwenk. So, Schwenk used to work at the ICE Academy in Georgia. He worked there up until last week because he resigned, and this is why. According to Schwenk, ICE cut almost 50% of their mandatory training for all of these unqualified sociopathic Gestapo agents that we're seeing. So this is just a stunning revelation. We kind of knew, we had inklings, there were other reports, but this is the first confirmation that we've had from somebody on the record. So at least to my knowledge. So the Washington Post wrote that Schwenk, quote, told congressional Democrats at a hearing that the agency eliminated 240 hours of quote unquote vital classes from a mandatory 580-hour training program, including instruction about the legal boundaries for the use of force, how to safely handle firearms, and the proper way to detain and arrest immigrants. I mean, kind of important stuff there, right? They eliminated 240 out of 580 hours. So insane. And then, you couple this with what we've learned from independent journalists like Ken Klippenstein. He reported that in speaking with sources that he has, the way this is all going down is that you're getting the worst of the worst out on the streets because they're asking for volunteers to go into our cities throughout the US. So you're not getting the people who have the most experience or, who are the most calm and non-racist. You are getting the people who are gung-ho, who are like, yeah, let's get out there and take down the brown and black people, and like the most racist, the most unqualified are the ones who are raising their hand and saying, yes, send me in, coach, I want to go. That's who we're seeing in these operations across the country. So this is just the biggest recipe for disaster you could possibly have. And then Schwenk said that ICE has eliminated 16 hours of firearms training and a 2-hour class that they had that specifically dealt with protesters' rights, like what you can and can't do to protesters. That was taken from a 2-hour class down to 10 minutes. And it was just, they made it part of something else. And then Schwenk has the receipts. It's not like he's just saying this stuff and, saying, oh, take my word for it. He gave the Democrats an internal document or several internal documents that prove that ICE has cut its training program down from 72 to 42 days. So they eliminated an entire month of training. And then Schwenk told the lawmakers this. He said, quote, law enforcement is a deadly serious business. It is not a place for shortcuts. Deficient training can and will get people killed. ICE is lying to Congress and the American people about the steps it is taking to ensure that 12,000 officers can faithfully uphold the Constitution and perform their jobs. So, flat out saying they're lying to Congress. Now, of course, they lied some more. Seems that they lied some more. The Department of Homeland Security is denying all of this. The Washington Post reached out to them for comment, and they said, oh no, this is false. ICE recruits, they said, receive 56 days of training, and then they're given an assignment, and then they get another 28 days of additional on-the-job training. Okay, sure. And then a spokeswoman, she was quoted as saying this. This is just laughable. She said, quote, "No training hours have been cut. Our officers receive extensive firearm training, are taught de-escalation tactics, and receive Fourth and Fifth Amendment comprehensive instruction." Really? Seriously? Is that what we've been seeing? Is that what we've seen over the last year? They know all about de-escalation, right? They know all about respecting people's constitutional rights. That must be why Alex Preddy and Renee Good are still here on this earth, right? Oh, wait, no, they're not. In every situation, every time, they're escalating the tensions. This is such BS that they put out. And then check this out, you guys. So the Washington Post wrote that on Schwenk's first day on the job at that Georgia facility, I'll bring this up for you. Quote, "He was asked to review an internal memo signed by Lyons. Lyons is the head of ICE, that said ICE officers are authorized to use administrative warrants approved by senior ICE officials to enter private residences. That marked a shift from the federal government's long-standing position that officers must obtain judicial warrants signed by federal judges. Schwenk said he was instructed to train the recruits on the policy, but was told that he could not talk about the information publicly or even take notes after reading the memo." I mean, does it get any more clear than this? He told members of Congress, quote, "ICE is teaching cadets to violate the Constitution and attempting to cloak it in secrecy by demanding I lie about it." I mean, yeah, if you are so concerned that what you're teaching people, that the training you're giving them might get out to the public, and you're like, oh, here's what we need you to do, here's what we need you to say, but you can't talk about this in public, you can't talk about it to the press. That is a flashing warning sign. Big old red flashing warning sign, right? You're going the wrong way. You're doing something wrong. Jesus. And then, as you'd expect, an ICE spokesperson denied this as well. But we know for a fact that this is happening. We've seen this over and over again. We have seen cases throughout the last year that they are doing things like this. And the lawmakers also had spoken with a Minnesota woman. Her husband was arrested, and Trump's Gestapo used one of those bogus administrative warrants to enter their home illegally. So for those who don't know, especially people in other countries, the way our judicial system works, the way our legal system works, is you as a prosecutor have to go to a judge. You have to present evidence saying, hey, this is why we believe this person is subject to being arrested. These are the, allegations against them. This is the supporting evidence that we believe proves that they should be arrested for XYZ reason. And then the judge looks at it and says either, okay, yes, here's my stamp of approval in the form of a judicial warrant that says you have presented, legitimate evidence against this person. You can go and arrest them, and you're not violating their Fourth Amendment constitutional rights to illegal seizure, search and seizure. Or the judge looks at it and goes, what the hell is this? This doesn't prove anything. Denied. That's the way it's supposed to work. Instead, ICE is having their supervisors, who are not judges, who probably are not even attorneys, look at just a piece of paper and go, okay, signing off on it. You can go break into this person's house and arrest them. So, anyway, guys, this is where we are. We now have absolute proof. We have people on the record. Are we going to see any changes? I doubt it. I seriously doubt it, because unlike John Fetterman, we all know that Donald Trump's administration doesn't follow court orders, that they do violate them on a regular basis. All right. When I hear more, I'll let you know. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.